people punch. They're very tight, they're very stiff. It's the nature of people. They want to grip the ground and they want to throw from their hips and their legs. And look, you can develop a tremendous amount of power that way. I'm not denying that, but it tends to be slower. It tends to be easier to see. So how you learn to throw more power is you learn how to shift your weight better. So when I do this, ideally what I want to do is instead of me just turning into a punch, I want my mass to transfer from leg to leg. So I'm here and now I'm here. How you learn that very simply is you practice going mass to leg to leg. So if you have a center point, you always want to take your mass past the center point. So instead of me just turning like this, what I want to do is I want to take my mass and I want to transfer it to the other leg. Like that. Very, very simple. You have to be very relaxed in the legs to do this. You want to bring your weight to the target. Now, I'm sure you've seen that. Here's the add to it that makes it different. So when you're doing this, a lot of times what people will do is they will go like this and they'll bring their weight, but their leg will stay back like this. And what happens is your hip stops there. Now that's fine if your target's very close. If your target's out a little ways, you're actually not bringing your hip as far as it should come. When you do that, you actually have to bring your hip up to do this. Now, here's where it gets a little weird. Usually you're taught that the body goes straight, everything should go straight. But the reality is, and when you do this punch, is your hip should turn a little bit like this. See the foot? See how the foot turns a little bit? Now, you've seen this in other things before. If you watch a baseball pitcher, when he comes through, what happens is as he comes up, this hip will turn. And you would think by turning it would take him that way, but it doesn't. What this turn does is it pushes and rotates that hip a little bit that way first. So the hip comes this way, and then it turns over the edge. When you punch, it's really the same thing. As I throw this, what I want is my hip to come forward like that. And then that little turn propels it more. Now, you're not supposed to fight like this where you stay there like this. I get this. It's just a quick here and back. If you're very relaxed, like it comes back quickly. But you want that extra little turn in this leg. Now remember, when you do it, it doesn't turn like this where you turn sideways. You want to turn it so that it comes that way. Do this in a couple angles so you can see it. See the turn, right? Now the turn doesn't go this way. The turn goes this way. So I get that extra little spin on it. So how you practice it at home, really simple. You turn and you just turn your feet like this a little bit. Just play with it. Go from leg to leg and see how the leg turns just a touch. And then you want to put one foot forward and do it. And see how does your hip come. Put your finger there so you know, like the hip comes that way. It shouldn't come this way. It should come that way. If you play with that little idea, you'll be amazed how much power that'll add to your punch.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I think you'll find these next two very helpful in your training.